Could you sell me a little rice for 1 real, sir? That's not even enough to buy a candy these days. That's what Mr. Antonio heard when he walked into a small market on the outskirts of town. He was 78 years old, his feet swollen, dragging worn-out sandals that were nearly falling apart. His clothes were torn, and his wooden cane helped support his tired body. He walked slowly, ignored by the other customers. He reached the counter holding a tiny coin tightly in his hand with a shy smile on his face. In a low voice he said, "Miss, my stomach has been empty since yesterday. I didn't want to bother anyone, but I've been praying that God would send someone to help me. Today, this is all I have. Would you sell me just a little rice, so I don't have to sleep hungry again?" The cashier laughed mockingly. "That's not even enough to buy a candy these days!" A customer behind him shouted, "Ask God for it then!" Everyone started laughing. Mr. Antonio lowered his head in shame. He opened his small cloth bag and took out a little folded piece of paper tied with a string. He carefully placed it on the counter. "I know I have almost nothing," he said softly, "but I wanted to leave this here. It's a prayer I wrote this morning." The cashier sneered, "So now you're going to pay for rice with a piece of paper?" Just then, the manager came out from the back, saw what was happening, picked up the paper, and began to read slowly. "I was young, and now I am old, yet I have never seen the righteous forsaken or their children begging for bread." Psalm 37:25. The manager fell silent, swallowed hard, and looked at the old man. "Mr. Antonio, please wait a moment," he said quietly. He went to the back and returned with a full basket of groceries. He placed everything on the counter in silence. The old man's eyes widened. The manager smiled and said, "You paid with faith. That's worth more than any amount of money." Mr. Antonio left the store, dragging the heavy bag but with a light heart. The entire store fell silent. On the counter remained only the small coin and the folded prayer. The manager stood there, staring at them, thinking he had almost nothing. Yet his faith fed more than money ever could. You share so many things, jokes, videos, opinions. Would your faith be strong enough to share a story like this? Remember what is written. "If you are ashamed of me before men, I will also be ashamed of you before my Father who is in heaven." Matthew 10:33.